Hello, and I want to welcome everybody to the Butterfly Effect, and please help me welcome Kenji Kumara, and he is an Ascension teacher. So welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here with me today and being here to support everybody this is going to reach. So
At your service.
yeah, I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey. There's so many people out there. I heard a little bit about your journey, and I'm like, there's so many people that could benefit from hearing some of the stuff that you went through that led you to where you're at now and being a teacher.
Well, I guess you could say um, I don't necessarily remember my birth
Uh-huh.
necessarily, but I will say that my mom told me I came out early. So she had uh, probably no reason to go into worry because I just literally popped out. I was 7 weeks premature, but I didn't have to go into an incubator or anything like that. So I could have been born in Leo, but I was born in Cancer.
Oh, like
Um,
me.
uh, and as you know, cancers are very sensitive.
Yeah.
And I was at growing up, still am today.
Mm-hmm.
But in my early years, apparently I wasn't very healthy. And my mom raised me like on health foods and stuff. And so
Yeah.
really, I didn't eat any junk food till I was 5. And I remember when I ate my first candy bar, and I felt a little guilty. But I
Uh-huh.
was raised on natural foods for first 5 years. But apparently, I was a little bit on the sickly side, as she would say. I had scurvy when I was about 3.
Uh-huh.
I had a deficiency, I believe, vitamin C. And I had polio when I was 5. Um, I caught the virus apparently in my back. And I remember in the hospital, I had to spend 30 days in a isolated a room. And I remember I was playing with my marbles and I dropped it on the floor. And the nurse came and scooped it up and took it away. She says, I, I couldn't have my marbles back because they fell on the floor. And I
Uh-huh.
remember crying, I think. And I went, oh God, what was that all about? Anyway, I apparently recovered from that. And when I was 7, I got hit by a car. And that was my first kind of death experience where on the other side, I debated whether I should leave or stay.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to stay because I didn't want to come back to the same household and have to work out and stuff with my dad, because basically that was why I came in, was to heal my self-esteem issues regarding my dad, who never believed in me
Yeah.
and thought for his whole life that I would amount to nothing. Amount to nothing. And so I spent about 3 days, I believe, in a coma. An interesting thing was, because our body knows, when I woke up from 3 days, I knew I was going to throw up. And I actually did.
Yeah.
But I yelled to the nurse, get me the bucket. How did I know that? I don't know. But I just said that. And she got the bucket. And then I threw up in the bucket. And then I felt really good. So I realized when I threw up all that trauma, the
Yeah.
trauma from being hit by a real car at 35 miles an hour. And I broke my leg and arm and had a concussion. And yeah, could have went.
Yeah.
And so, interesting enough, my parents thought that I was really different after that accident, that I wasn't the same, but they
Mm-hmm.
could never explain to me how I was different.
Yeah.
I believe that accident knocked part of me out, and I had to go retrieve it eventually, as you can imagine, getting
Yeah.
knocked out of the body and like, whoa, that really hurt the body. And then when I was 20, I got a concussion in the head, and that was another one of my very close to dying episodes. And I was literally traumatized for a week with the head concussion and internal bleeding. in my nose. But again, I decided, well, I'm going to stay. I don't want to come back and have to do all this stuff with my dad. So, hey, for the first 20 years, I kind of went through some rough stuff.
Yeah. There was another thing that you touched on when we were connecting that I wanted you to share, because I know a lot of people are going through the same feelings, and had to do with Shasta and that time in your life. What led you to that, and how did you overcome that?
Well, again, here's kind of like an angel story. So I'm staying with my parents in the Bay Area. I was taking care of my mom, who had a series of strokes. So my dad and I took care of her, and she was basically bedridden and was going blind. But she could eat on her own and walk in a walker, but she was basically bedridden. So I did that for 4 years. And I realized in the fourth year, I couldn't do it anymore because my back was starting to hurt, and I couldn't do my practice, my healing work. And I was really, actually, there was a period where I stayed at my parents' for like 12 years, just thinking I was going to go there for a few months, get my act together, and then, do my work.
Yeah.
And so in '88, I arrived at my parents, and I ended up, never thought it'd be that long, 12 years. And during that time, I went through some severe depression relating to, oh my God, am I gonna like be stuck in the house here and taking care of mom for years? And I had hardly any friends. Didn't know anybody really in the Bay Area, and I was stuck in the house. And that feeling of being stuck,
Yeah.
like in a reality where I didn't see a way out. So I experienced, I suppose, my share of depression and loneliness. So how I got out of it was, mysteriously, the house had a house fire. And so I'm sleeping in the middle of the night in January in the year 2000, right? This is like the new century,
Yeah.
2000. And I was woken up by the smell of burnt wire, but I didn't pay any attention. I just told myself, oh, I got to go back to sleep. It didn't dawn on me that something might be happening. But I couldn't go to sleep, and I kept smelling burnt wire. And I thought, And I heard a voice say, I think you better get up to go see if the house is on fire. I went, really? Okay, so I got up. I was very sleepy. And there's a hallway leading from the bedroom to the living room. So I went and opened up the door, and a blast of heat and smoke went right into my face. And I immediately instinctively knew, oh my God, the house is on fire. We got to call 911. So I tried to call, and all the power was out. The lights wouldn't go on, the telephone didn't work. I went, oh my God. So I yelled to my dad, who's basically deaf. I screamed at him twice to get up, the house is on fire.
Yeah.
And ran out to the neighborhood in my bare feet with just my pants and t-shirt on. And nobody was awake except for the neighbors across the street. So we went and banged on the door, really scared them. I said, you got to call 911, our house on fire. So they did. And I got to tell you, it was the longest 6 minutes of my life. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's taking them a long time to get here. 6 minutes. Anyway, they put out the fire. The fire chief said, if I had not woken up, the house would have imploded and we all would have died. So there was a voice, an angel voice that woke me up and basically saved my life.
Yeah.
So that's a cool angel story. So in the meantime, I'm having post-traumatic stress disorder. I have a little bit of money. I tried to find a place to rent. I tried to do my spiritual work. Nothing would happen because I was in post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
So after 6 months, after being put up by strangers and friends, I ran out of places to stay. And then I thought, after one night in a motel room, oh, I'm going to go up to Mount Shasta, and I'm either going to make it or I'm going to leave the planet. So that was my thought. I had about $1,000 in my wallet. That was about it. And I went up there, and literally I was going to either die or I was going to make it. And I spent a few months in a hostel, and nothing was happening. I couldn't find a place to rent, no work.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, I've got, and this was like getting to be September. And by September up there, all their rentals are taken. And I thought, oh my God, it's going to be winter pretty soon. Oh boy. So I started to worry a little bit. So a miracle happens where I met this guy that was traveling through in his truck. He was a welder, and he ended up staying in Mount Shasta and rented a place. And this woman from Belgium that I met just mentioned to me, hey, why don't you talk to what's his name to see if you could stay at his place? I
Yeah.
had never thought of that. So I did. And he had a little room to rent. And so that's what I did. And it ended up within a month, he left, and I got the whole place to myself for about a year and a half.
Wow.
So I got saved again.
Yeah.
And, I ended up going to Seattle because I was running out of money. Actually, I was in debt, and I couldn't get work there. I heard a voice saying, go to Seattle. So I go to Seattle, and I met this woman who I said, oh, I got your name and number from this woman in Mount Shasta. When I had a little yard sale, she gave me your name and number.
Uh-huh.
He goes, I don't know anybody in Mount Shasta by that name. And I went, oh, that's interesting. Well, anyway, here I am because she gave me your name and phone number.
Yeah.
This woman eventually connected me through a group to rent a place or stay actually for free for 6 months until I got a place to rent.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all divine timing.
Yeah.
This apartment rental that I stayed in for 13 years, I wouldn't be able to get it unless I had a job. And just before I applied, I got this temporary job. And so I got that on my resume, and I was able to get the apartment. And then they fired me after I got the apartment. So then I decided, okay, I better start my practice for sure.
Yeah.
So that was in 2002, 2003. So fast forward, here I am today.
Awesome. You shared a little something about the butterfly effect and how you related it to the phoenix. Or would you care to share a little bit about that?
Well, on a symbolic level, right, we have this caterpillar that goes into this metamorphosis and comes out a butterfly, totally different creature.
Yeah.
Now, the phoenix rising, or the idea of transformation, is that okay, you're in this one place, this one state of mind here. You go through this inner transformation, and you come out literally a whole different person,
Mm-hmm.
and literally with a new kind of body. So that's our possibilities today, given that the energies are the veil is thinning, so people now have more direct access to these things called transformation and instantaneous healings and connections with our soul groups and things like that. And that's really my focus now, is to really help people with their transformation, whether we want to call it the butterfly effect or the rising of the phoenix, where this being rises up from the ashes symbolizing your past that you literally burned up, that you've completed
Mm-hmm.
your karma, so to speak, and
Yeah.
you're rising up into the light. So into the next dimension, into the fifth, into the sixth, into the seventh dimension.
Yeah.
So we're rising out of this density, this being stuck in this matrix of density, and we're literally refining all parts of us to go to the next octave of learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting. It only happens, oh God, when was the last time this earth collectively was able to experience this? A long time ago, thousands of years.
Yeah.
Actually, probably 26,500 years, maybe.
So I know there's going to be new people that are going to get to share this experience with us, and they, might not know anything about this. Is there anything that you might like to share with anybody who is new on their journey and like getting to hear and experience this right now?
Well, we're all going through challenges. We're actually being challenged to let go literally of all of the old ways of doing earth life
Yeah.
and trusting and moving literally into an unknown world, an unknown reality that we call the fifth dimension or the new earth. So you see in the world, all levels of society in every country is collapsing. All the dysfunction is being observed or manifested. So basically, the old structure is breaking down on purpose so that we can not necessarily rebuild, but to move into a new way of living, which is really a place of cooperation, of working together, of creating harmony and peace. So we're leaving the old world of war and conflict, control, manipulation, um, dysfunctional marriages, relationships, and all that, and moving into what we've all dreamed about called paradise on earth. Now, that might take a while, but the younger generation, they will most likely see it in their lifetime.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are what are some tools or tips that you can give some people that I mean are on this journey that they might be able to implement in their life right now? I know meditation is a huge one. Is there any other tools you have or anything that's really helped you specifically on your journey?
Basically, we're all unique. So different systems relate to different people. In other words, not any one system can relate to all peoples.
Yeah.
And not everybody can relate to one system.
Mhm.
So there's so much out there, advertised and not advertised, through groups and through practitioners and teachers that can help us along the way. I myself have had a number of teachers to help me along the way, but most that I've studied with, uh, it wasn't relevant, although
Mhm.
maybe at the time I thought it was.
Yeah.
But, I've taken just the very best of what I've learned in my life and applied it in my life. So I would say, just generally speaking, whatever you learn, apply it in your life. Bring it through your body and apply it in your life. So besides meditation, which is the key, you've got yoga, you've got fitness, you've got all these complementary medicine approaches. They all work for some people.
Yeah.
We've got obviously the diet, the conscious diet level. We've got nature is really key. Everybody needs to keep their nature connection going, however it is. Daily walks, uh, putzing around the garden, as I say, but being able to connect with trees and rocks and earth and water is very important now.
Yeah.
So those in the big cities, they really need to maintain their nature connection, or they're going to feel lost and lonely and
Yeah.
depressed.
And a lot of people are. And
Yeah,
it's so easy to get caught up in this world with everything going on and the way that we're expected to live and be to fit, you know, just to
yeah,
fit in, right?
yeah,
So, yeah, like electronics, like that's a big thing. I mean, especially for somebody who's sensitive, and I think a lot of people, I mean, I didn't know how sensitive I was most of my life, to what degree I was. What was that like for you? Like understanding your sensitivity and shifting into being able to use it to support you.
yeah. Well, I've had to learn, and I still get caught up with my computer, spending too much time on it. But
Yeah,
yes, we have to be very mindful of not being controlled by our cell phone, our computers, our gadgets, our smart whatever it is.
yeah,
So the symptoms are basically when your system gets overloaded, you start to get nervous, you start to get anxious. There's too much stuff going on in your head. You have trouble sleeping. You basically feel generally agitated, and your body's saying, get away from this stuff. So you have to take a break.
yeah,
So I look at it this way. I've got so much time on my computer per day, and when I reach my limit, I'm done. I turn it
yeah,
off. Yeah, same thing with television. But Also, everybody, it would be very wise for everyone to put a bubble of light around their bodies to protect them from all of the, what I call negative technology. So that's all Wi-Fi uh, vibrations, that's
Hmm.
radio waves, that's smart anything, smart televisions, refrigerators, home appliances, Echo, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you need to protect your body. Put a buffer of light around your body so your body doesn't absorb all of that energy that it can't really process too well.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who don't understand, and this has been big for me getting into energy healing work myself and realizing just so much more about this world and see it for what it really is, that energy is really everything, and there are energies that bring our energy down if we are not aware. So I think it's so important for people to understand that. I
Yeah.
just, for me, it's been so supportive of my journey, just seeing this world for what it really is and going down this path.
And we have the possibilities right now to be able to transcend all this stuff that's happening in the world, all
Yeah.
this dysfunction and collapsing of systems and basically dysfunctional behavior.
Yeah.
Not to get caught up in it. That's the main thing. Don't get caught up in it. Don't be affected by the fallout, as we say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there any big shifts that you've had through this journey that you would like to share with anybody? Because I know a lot of people are new on this journey, and just like what this journey has done for you. Like, if you could take yourself back to one moment that you've had a big shift in your life from being, on this journey.
Well, I don't know, at some point where I just became more aware, I don't remember,
Yeah.
but I look at my life now versus say even 10, 20, 30 years ago. Oh my God, there's such a difference. I was so, not that I was totally asleep, but I was maybe not really grounded in my earlier years. But
Yeah.
as you mature and you get older and you go through life, you just go through life, you wake up. You just kind of naturally begin to wake up and realize things. So I don't know exactly at what point in my life where I woke up. Um, oh, there was a part of me that had the pure psychedelic experience. And I
Uh-huh.
will say, this was back when I was 23, 24. And mind you, it's not the kind of stuff that's available now. This was like pure stuff that was given to you free.
Yeah.
Um, I guess you could say my mind opened up, my heart opened up to another level of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you can say, in a way, maybe I woke up from that,
Yeah.
being 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
I had experiences of oneness with nature. I
Uh-huh.
had experiences of extreme clarity in my vision, just of what was in front of me.
Yeah.
Um, I had many experiences of timelessness. Um, many experiences where there was no stress in the experience. It was just, I guess you could say, that deep connection within, with
Mm-hmm.
creation. They call it, I guess, the oneness experience.
Yeah.
So I suppose that was like the beginning levels of going, wow, there's another reality here, folks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, is there anything in particular that you're extremely passionate about that you would like to share with the people that we get to reach?
Well,
Something in your heart.
the thing that brings me the most joy personally is being able to teach
Yeah.
in whatever way. But maybe the most fun for me, the most enjoyable, is actually live teaching in a retreat setting, or a place where people come for the weekend or for 4 days, where they get to sit in the energies and we get to connect and heal together. That is really uh, quite amazing uh, for me to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
That's probably the most enjoyable part of my life is being able to teach in person.
Yeah. I think it's so powerful. I mean, just I love that for me, this showed me how connected we were and how we were one. But and like we can literally affect each other from wherever we are. But being in person and being able to be connected with people can be an extremely powerful experience. So I think that's beautiful that that's where you're passionate to connect with people and support them in that process of healing, because it can be more powerful for sure. So is there anything in particular you like to do at the retreats that you like to share possibly?
Well, this is a future possibilities. I haven't done it yet, but I just finished getting downloaded or realizing uh, the pieces that are ready to be taught. And I'm calling it my new signature program, or my signature program. So it's basically what I came here to do. It only took me 73 years to formalize it and begin to put it on paper. So now I have the picture of what I want to teach for the rest of my life.
That's
And it's really amazing. So I'm
Yeah.
going to be offering that soon. I think first in an online series, and then in person,
Yeah.
and maybe all over the country. Maybe I'll just get invited to places, and I'll do the weekend signature program. So what I realized is that I think what I was on another level asking was, well, what really can I teach? What really can I offer that is really profound for everybody,
Yeah.
not just maybe some people, but that anybody can relate to it. So it's basically, without giving away the whole store, maybe just to intrigue you, but it's about basically healing the original place where we became separated in our consciousness from our source.
Awesome.
And
I'm so
I was given 6 different ways to approach this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like 6 different ways in which people can relate to uh, this one focus that we're going to offer.
Well, I'm excited to see you release that, because I mean, spending all those years cultivating this creation, I'm sure you're probably extremely excited to get it out there to support people. I mean, that's really what our journey is about, right? We get to go and grow through things so we can support people. And I've found that's really what brings me the most joy. And I'm sure it's the same for you. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Um, did you want to share a little bit of a meditation?
Okay, we can do maybe 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
let's get comfortable, close our eyes, put your feet on the floor, wherever you may be, palms facing upwards, and allow your spine to feel comfortable. Your spine is very important. Think of your spine as like an antenna that receives information from the universe. It also transmits energy from your core out into the universe. And think of your pineal gland, which is situated inside your brain, related to your brow chakra, your spiritual center there in your forehead. Think of your pineal gland, your ajna center, as the end point of your antenna that receives signals from the universe on all dimensional levels. And imagine that this antenna is being self-corrected in the sense of being repositioned so that it can receive very easily the signals from the universe. And we're talking about creativity. We're talking about ways to heal our bodies. It's about frequencies and vibrations that will help us to harmonize every aspect of our life. Those kinds of energies. and that this antenna is connected directly into the core of your heart, which takes those frequencies and translates it into a feeling, a felt sense that can encompass our emotions, but much more. So it's like now the heart, as your antenna begins to be realigned, adjusted, shall we say, begins to feel that information in the core of your body and begins to translate it as a felt sense, a warm vibration, a feeling of maybe joyfulness, a feeling of love, feeling of compassion, a feeling of whatever makes your body feel really good. And then you let that feeling begin to resonate through your nervous system. And then it radiates out into your auric field, into the space around your body. And it radiates out into your home environment. And it begins to reach people that you truly love and are connected with. Family, friends, perhaps your students, your clients, people you work with. So this is a simple way to just simply begin to refocus and begin to experience what is possible as far as bringing a felt sense of harmony and peace to your body, your brain, and your mind. And as you take a deep breath, you begin to actually deepen that felt experience. And if you take another deep breath very deeply into the guts, into the solar plexus, you begin to really bring it into the core of your body. And just make a decision and a choice right now to continue to remember this felt sense of peace and harmony and choose to share this invisibly, silently, with everybody that you meet every day, including pets, including the animals, and begin to let that be your way of life. And so when you're ready, keep that feeling in your body, open your eyes, and allow your brain to adjust to this new vibration. So that's an example of a spontaneous activation, shall we say?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I could feel, I'm cancer and like super sensitive, and I can feel a lot. So I could definitely feel the connection happen inside, from my pineal to my heart. So yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I hope it gets to support a lot of people and on their journey. Is there anything else that you feel called to share?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
There are many times in my life going through bankruptcy, going through homelessness, going through credit card debt, having to be without a car for a year, depending upon a friend or two to take me places, going through personal struggle with money, many times, personal struggle with not enough money, no business sense, getting myself into situations where I never thought I would end up business-wise, losing money. I never gave up. Actually, people in my life, throughout my life, have been amazed because they would tell me that, God, normally people would just give up and quit, but you just keep going. So I guess I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I just keep going.
Yeah. I think that's,
Don't give up.
yeah.
Just keep the faith.
It's one of our powers. I feel like, I can relate to that. Like, it's just like, there's just been so much dark stuff in my life where it's just like, the key is just don't give up on yourself.
Mhm.
Like, you know, that's why I'm on this journey of, you know, trying to support as many people as I can and understanding that they're not alone, because it's challenging. It is. So thank you so much for sharing that. I think
Yes, one of the things to help with this whole loneliness thing is in meditation, call out to the universe to meet your soul group.
yes.
Yes,
Oh,
your soul
yeah.
group here.
Yeah, that's powerful. I've had some amazing people come into my life on this journey, and man, the connections that I've gotten to receive from it are beautiful. So thank you for sharing that.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I want to thank you again so much for connecting with me and being willing to share and doing the work that you're doing. And also, you had a free gift that you wanted to share as well.
Yes, it's a series I did not too long ago, and it's called Navigating Beyond the Chaos. See, here's what I realized. We do these activations, yes, and they're alive and organic, meaning they last a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter when you listen to it, it's live and organic for you in that moment and made for you. But I realized that even though we do like this show today, it's very relevant in the future for those
Yes.
that tune in.
Yeah.
So it's also made for the future. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So navigating beyond the chaos is it was offered to help people move through the chaos, which is
Awesome.
happening big time right now
Yeah.
this
Just
year.
so much of it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for offering that. I mean, and everybody out there, get connected with Kenji, because he is an amazing person and soul, and it's been such a pleasure to connect with him. And he's got so much value, and he's gone through so much to be able to support you on your journey. So get connected with him. And any final words?
Final words. Keep the faith. Keep on trucking, as we say.
Yes.
That keep on trucking came out of the 1970s. Still relevant today. Keep on trucking, folks.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Kenji.
Okay.